All right. Well, good evening and welcome to a wonderful Witches Be Crazy painting with Happy Trees Entertainment. I'm Paint with Mel 8. And to get started, we are going to be using a canvas that is just like this. But if you have something else that you want to paint it on, be our guest. Many materials work well. Also this evening, I will show you the brushes I'm using. I have quite a selection here because we can be flexible and use what you have available. We're going to be starting off with our largest brush, which looks like this. And we will be just wetting our canvas down so that our colors go on nice and smooth and so that our paint blends together well and we get these cool color blends. If you look behind me, you will see some of the wonderful color blends that I have done in the past. In all of these paintings, we just use the primary colors. And so I will show you what color palette we're using tonight. Let's go ahead and get started. You can take your largest brush and just with water, go ahead and dip your brush and take your strokes vertical. And we're going to go all the way across our canvas. Just with water right now to wet our canvas and get our paint going on smooth. Go ahead and take your large brush and take this water all the way across. Your canvas doesn't have to be super wet. We just want it damp enough for those colors to blend well. And once you get to that far edge, I will show you the rest of the brushes we're using this evening. Go to make sure you don't have any dry spots. You can see some watermarks and kind of lean to the light there. And that is our start. If you have something to put under your paint, we're going to get our paints out. So make sure you cover your floor with something. Acrylic is very permanent. So make sure you got something nice covering on your floor or on your table. And the next brushes we'll be working with are a medium-sized brush, which is our square brush. And it looks just like this. It's flat across the top. And the next brush we'll be working with is a tiny, tiny detail brush. So the tiniest brush that you have in your collection will be used to make all those fine details, highlights, and reflections that we're going to add at the end of the painting. So I'll show you the colors we're working with. Go ahead and grab, paper plate works really well because you can just toss it. And I'll show you the colors we're working with. As I mentioned, primary colors. So let me know what you have and I'll show you what I've got on our little paper plate here. We are going to start with some black, red, blue, and yellow. So I got my little primary color arsenal out here, and we are going to start with some black, red, blue, and yellow. So go ahead and get your black. You don't need a lot of paint. Some people think that you need a lot of paint, but a little goes a long way. So we're going to add a little black to our palette, and we're going to do our very first color to get our Witches Be Crazy a nice background. There's my black. About a quarter size amount will be sufficient. And I'm going to take my largest brush and I am going to come to this far left side corner and I'm just going to do the exact same stroke we just did with the water. That means I am just going vertical once again. And I'm going to come about a hand's print across. And this will be the start of the background for a cute little Witch Be Crazy. So if you notice, this is the exact same stroke we just did with just water, which is what was our warm-up. And if it's your first time painting, this is a good chance for you to get familiar with your canvas as we're doing the background before we get all these details on here. So I'm just taking my largest brush. My stroke is going vertical. I'm coming across about a hand's width. If you have little hands like me, give yourself a little bit more space. It's about a hand's width apart. So there is our first segment. Very easy. We haven't blended yet. And we've got our black. Try to make sure your line stays pretty clean on your edges because we want this to be smooth and as straight as we can get it over here on that far right side. So use that edge of your brush to make sure that your lines stay pretty solid and pretty even. And we are going to do the exact same thing on the far right side of our canvas. So we're coming over to the far right side and we're going to do the exact same thing, vertical strokes using our black and trying to keep our lines nice and straight so that we can have this cute little fence for our Witches Be Crazy to post up there. Same stroke, same color, and we will be doing this for our next color blend, which in wonderful Halloween fashion is orange. Go ahead and take that black all the way to your far right edge. And you will notice that if your brush is also wet, then the color actually goes on a lot faster, a lot smoother, and you don't get these stubborn gaps or pixels in your line. You get a nice solid line. So that is the start of our background. Looking good. If you got those two panels of your fence, you are on a roll. We're gonna switch color. So go ahead and rinse that brush off in your cup and grab some paper towels because we're changing color. We are gonna move along to our next color blend, which is orange. So if you have orange, fantastic. If you do not, we can use those primary colors I mentioned. So grab a red. This is our acrylic red, and we are going to blend it with yellow. So go ahead and get a quarter size amount of your red on your paint palette. And you want to put it in a spot where you can also get the yellow right beside it, because we're going to blend them together. There's my quarter size amount of red and my quarter size amount of yellow is going right beside it. So we can do a nice mixture for Halloween. Beautiful. Now, if you already have orange, well, you can just take it straight off your straight out your dispenser, but we like primary colors, so we can make our colors as bold or as pastel as we like. So I want my orange to be popping for Halloween, so I'm gonna make sure it's nice and bold. And the final color we're adding is a little bit of white. So go ahead and get your white right there in the center of your plate. And I will show you how to mix this in beautiful Halloween fashion. White, come on out now. Don't be stubborn. Make some lovely noises here. And we've got our Halloween mix ready to go. So once you've got your three colors, go ahead and grab that largest brush one more time. We're going to come right onto our paint palette and we're going to mix those three together. So the red and yellow will do it, but the white makes it as bold as pastel as we like. And I want a nice popping orange because we are 1 week to Halloween. So go ahead and come right beside that black that we just made, and you are going to add your orange right beside it. And it's okay if your colors touch and overlap. We're going to add a same width that we did for the black right beside it, keeping our lines straight. straight as possible. And it's starting to look like Halloween. So I've got my orange coming across, and we're going to leave that space right beside it, just the way it is. And we will have our 3 colors for our background in place. This looks good. Now I will let you know, we can customize some colors for our Witches Be Crazy. I know my last paint class was a fan of turquoise, so if you do have a favorite color, I will show you how to blend up your lavenders, your teals, your hot pinks, whatever, your sky blues, whatever it is you want. And we can customize your witch's outfit and her hair. But right now, we've got a fabulous stroke of orange on there. And you go ahead and stop and clap because that's background. So good job. We already got the background done. We got our black, our orange, and our white. We are ready for getting our witch and our brooms flying in the air for Halloween. So congratulations. We're going to let this dry for just a moment. And while it's drying, you can wrap your canvas. And that means the edges of your canvas across this top and down the sides, you can apply any color that you want so that when you do put it on the wall, you don't need a frame. It is ready to go. Sound good? So take your largest brush. I'm going to be holding this canvas up close to you. So in the interest of my hands not getting completely painted, I'm going to let you all wrap your canvas. So just take that paint right down the top and right down those left and right sides. I will be holding mine so you can see the fine details. So don't mind me. And go ahead and let that center dry. It should only take like a minute or two. We don't want to be super runny because we're going to start adding details right on top of it. So give yourself a moment to let the middle dry. If you need anything, this is a good time to grab it because we just need a couple of moments for us to get ready to paint our witch. And if you don't have all your colors already, we will be adding blue to the mix. So make sure you get that on your paint plate as well. And we will count down. I gotta get some Halloween music for you. Like Thriller. I hear something. This will be our blue. We can add it right here on the corner. And I think we are ready to go. So let's grab our medium-sized brush. That was our square brush that is flat across top. It looks like this. We are going to make a nice skinny line across the top of our canvas. This is where our witch is hanging her brooms up. So you can just take this brush that is medium size and come all the way across the top of your canvas. It's going to give you a nice woodsy color because we are actually picking up orange and black and white as we go across. And this is perfect because this is where we are tacking her brooms. And the good thing about this brush is it's almost a perfect width for the line that we need. So don't have to do anything but take it horizontal about an inch or so from the top. Easy. This is also giving those panels just another moment to dry. So we do get our witch on here. She'll be ready to go. And while we have this square brush, with some white on it. Let's go ahead and age the wood, because these panels are not just black and orange for no reason. It's kind of the fence where our Witches Be Crazy is posted up. We're gonna take the blade of our brush, which is that sharpest edge, and we're just gonna add some fine, thin white lines right down in all random spots on our black and on each panel. And this kind of ages the wood and gives it like the old rustic effect. Makes it look a little creaky, a little creepy for Halloween. I'm just using that sharp edge of my brush and making some vertical lines, all different shapes and lengths right down my canvas. We're going to add a few over here on the white part as well, just to give it some texture. You can put them in any sporadic places. Just kind of chipping our wood here, making it look old, scaring people for Halloween. You can add some of those thin lines horizontally across that line we just made as well, and age all of our wood for our background. Nice little technique, easily done. One color, changes the appearance, gives a little bit of spookiness. So our orange should be getting close to dry. If yours is still damp, give it a little air. We don't want our spot to be too wet because we got to paint our witch. So if you need to fan your canvas a little bit, make sure that it's not too runny, and we will go start with, and to do that detail brush, which is the small, we are going to be using some black. So go ahead and take that tiniest of tiny brushes, dip it in the black, and come to the very top of your canvas. And this will be easy because it's a simple shape. It is just an oval. So if your orange is not dry yet, don't touch it yet, because we don't want our canvas to get too runny or we won't be able to see the color. So let your orange dry, please. And you'll be able to tell, because you'll be able to see watermarks somewhere across the side. So if you still see watermarks, we don't want to paint the witch yet. Let it dry for just a moment, and we'll be good. Rinse these paint off. And pull it up. Give yourself a nice little countdown. I still see watermarks there. We don't want our witch's hat to run off from the paint. And as I mentioned, you'll be using that tiny detailed brush and the black. So make sure you have the smallest brush you can find. Our shapes will be simple. We're going to be making an oval to get started. And we're going to do it right at the top of our canvas as soon as it gets dry enough to put her hat on. Let's see. So go ahead and grab your tiniest detail brush and dip it in the black. We're going to come to the top of that panel with the orange, and we're just going to make an oval. So I am going to make my oval right here in this orange panel. It's pretty skinny. I'll bring it up close so you can see exactly where I placed it, but I'm using my Chinese brush to make sure that I have control over my details here. And once you make your oval, you can go ahead and color it all the way in. It's kind of at an angle because she's a little sassy, which is be crazy. She's got a little tilt to her brim. So it's just an oval and it's going tilted up to the right ever so slightly. And on top of that oval, we are going to put a little triangle. Now this triangle kind of runs off the top of the page, but you can still see most of it. It's just a triangle sitting on top of our oval. And it looks like this. Now our crazy witch has her hat, and that's the perfect way to get started. Here comes her outline. So we're going to do the shape of her hair. And our witch is facing this way. It's a brush to outline her hair. So all these details, we're working with your detail brush, which is the smallest one in your repertoire. And for her hair, we're going to come down either side of the canvas. And we're just adding a wavy line on both sides. And it's going to come to a cute little point right at the bottom. So take your detail brush, and we're going in and out, a little bit to the left and the right, down to a point. She's got her head tossed up, thinking of what mischief she's going to get into for Halloween night. And we have outlined her hair. Underneath her hair, if you come down towards that point, neck shape is simple. It is just a triangle. So right underneath her hair, we're going to take our tiny stem brushes and we are going to make a triangle right underneath it. And this triangle is pretty big. It goes across either side of the panel here. And of course, we got to get wider towards the bottom. And take it about an inch from the bottom of our canvas. So bring it on down and bring it on out. Now, once you get to the bottom of this triangle, she got a little fringe. So you could just go straight across or give it a little scalloped edge down at the bottom. And that just means make it nice and wavy. It doesn't have to be a super straight line. You can make it nice and bumpy there towards the bottom. And this gives her a little fringe. So taking your brush up and down, get a little fringe towards the bottom of her dress. And perfect. Now she's got a lot of fringe on this dress. And, and as you can see, I kind of lit it up there for you so you can see these details. Thanks to my wonderful assistant. I hope that you can notice the next layer of ruffles, which are going to be about an inch above that last set. Just take your brush up and down, right across the bottom of her dress and give her some fringe so she can have her Halloween outfit all the way together. Come up one more time and do it one more time so she has fringe. Nice layer for her outfit. We're getting our girl dressed and ready to go. She's looking ready, so she needs arms to stir her magic pot and brew and whatever spell she's casting. So we're going to come beside that triangle, make another triangle. These will serve as her arms. So right next to the triangle I just made, I'm going to put triangles on either side of her body and double them up. So there's a one arm. And we're just going to parallel that line we just made. She's got her hands up on her hip. And we'll come to the other side of her hair. And add another triangle for her other arms. And she's got her hand on her other hips over here. Just like that. So we've got a sassy little witch. She's got her hands on her hips. She's got her hat cocked in the air. She can't go anywhere and get into any mischief. She doesn't have her feet. So you gotta give her some legs. And these are easy. At the bottom of her dress, we'll make 2 parallel lines. So she can get a cute little stance here. And also wear some cute socks. So we'll put 2 little parallel lines at the bottom of that triangle. So she can have her stance. And while you're down there, make some horizontal lines so you can see she's got some striped socks on in there. Yeah, she's standing pretty, ready to get out in the swing of things. Counting down the days. What is it, 23rd? She's got, what, less than a week? So she can't go out alone. She's got to have her companion, and that's our cute little black cat. So I'll hold up so you can see, because he's tiny from the one we painted last week when we had our Halloween party. It's just a circle for his little head down there and 2 triangles on top. So I'm going to come right beside her, because where else would her best friend be? And we're just going to make a circle at the bottom of our canvas. Go ahead and color that circle in black while we got our detail brush. And while our outline dries, because then we get to color her in. Best part. Right now we're coloring in the cat black. He's just a circle, and it goes all the way to the bottom edge of our canvas. And on top of that circle, we add 2 little cute triangles. These will be his cat ears. So he can be spying on whatever the kids are up to, even though many of them will be social distancing. We hope they still get some candy. So there's our little cat friend at the bottom. And you have outlined your witch and drawn the cat. So props, claps, drop your paint plate, and give yourself a huge round of applause, because guess what? Now the cool part is we get to color in and customize our girl. We get to do her hair, whatever color we want, and paint her dress, whatever color we want. So our original, as you could see, is purple. Last week, my friend's favorite color was teal and turquoise, so we gave her green hair. And there are no rules when it's art. You can use your favorite colors. So tonight we can make green hair or whatever your favorites are. I'll show you how to blend them up. And for her dress, we'll be doing a lovely purple. So go ahead and grab your paint palette, and I will show you how to blend up some colors to fill in the outline we've already made. The cool thing is you did all the hardest part already. You have outlined the witch. Now we're just coloring in. So grab a medium-sized brush, which I will show you mine. Looks just like this. It is square across the top, and it's a medium size. If you have a different brush, that will work, but you want something that's not too big so you have control over getting in those outline details. So I am going to blend up some purple, which is just red, white, and blue. And I'm doing it right here on my paint plate. I'm just stirring together a little scoop of red, a little scoop of blue, and a little scoop of white. Now you can make it as bold as pastel as you want. That's why we blend our colors, because we like to have options. So I want a nice rich purple. And I am going to make sure I have enough red and blue and not too much white in the blend, because I don't want it pastel. I want it to be bold. When you want your colors to be pastel, you can add a pinch of white, and of course it will soften the color. But tonight,
For our Halloween witch, we're going bold and purple. And if you already have a color blend in your repertoire, you can use whatever color you like. So here's our purple. We're going to come right to this triangle, which is her dress. And we are going to lay it on thick. This is super easy because the line's already there and you just have to fill in where you have already painted. So get in those details that you've already drawn. And we're making purple in here. And we're going to color in the whole dress with our medium-sized brush so we can get in those edges. So there's my purple going in. Careful around that fringe so that you can get in those little crevices. Use the edge of your brush to do that. And come on down to that next tier of fringe and make it purple again. Be careful around those edges. We want to keep those details that you've made and fill it in really nicely. She's almost got her purple dress on. Have you decided on a hair color? I'm leaning towards green again. Maybe a little turquoise, maybe some blue highlights, maybe a splash or two of yellow. And finish off that last tier of her fringe with some purple. Taking it all the way across. Being mindful of those ridges that we made at the bottom. Honoring your work. Yay, she's dressed. Now she needs hair color. So we'll blend up another color for her hair. Oh wait, we gotta put sleeves on her dress. We want her sleeves to be purple. Make sure you don't forget those triangles on either side. Let's get in there and paint her sleeves as well. They don't have to be purple. You could change color, but I'm gonna keep them purple, just like our original painting. And just fill in that area we outlined. So she has purple sleeves too. Good, now she's got her hands on her hips and she's got her purple dress on. And she's like, I want hair color. So we will oblige. We're going with turquoise? Cool. Easy decision for me. I look super cute. Now for her hair, I'm gonna take a tiny detail brush because I want to get into those waves that she's got. And she's got a lot of swing motion. We don't want to mess up her hair and have her, the witch, mad at us. So let's go ahead and mix some blue and yellow together and get a nice green color pop in for her hair. And if you put just a pinch of white in that mixture, you'll get a really cool teal. And she'll be ready to hit the Halloween parties. So I've got a nice little teal blend mixed up here. It's just yellow blue. And if you want a little bit of white in there, that'll lighten it up. And I'm gonna come right to this space underneath her hat, which was our oval, and I'm going to follow the lines we've already painted and start coloring in her hair. Now, if you wanted to have black hair, it's totally up to you. Maybe she has red hair. It's on your paint palette. You can make that decision. But like I said, we did it for a previous one, and I think I made pop. So let's stick with the green. I'll show you how to make green. If you want to have black hair, of course, you could just use the black without any blending. And go ahead and color her wig. Beautiful. And trace that on down till you fill in all the edges of her hair. Even down into that point. And go ahead and color it all the way in. If you see some streaks of blue in there, it might be kind of cool because we're going to add some highlights to her hair anyway. So we like the mixture. Let the paint do what it does. Cute, cute, cute. All right, she has got her wig on and her hands on her hip. So we are gonna do a couple details on her dress and in her hair by adding some highlights. And we're also going to put the brooms on her fence here so that she can get out and about. So while her hair and her dress dries before we put the details on, let's make sure that we get her brooms tacked up so that she can get down. Take your tiniest brush, and the brooms are fairly simple. We just need a vertical line to come down on our panels, and we want it to be a nice woodsy color. So we're going to take that same orange mixture that we had with just a pinch of black, and you'll get a cool looking brown color. And we are going to come right into that black panel and just draw a vertical line straight down. Now the cool thing about your detail brush is it's already about the right width and size for the area of the broom. So it's just a vertical line, super easy. And I will make sure that you can see our other witch down there while we're doing this. Back it up for you because the broom has these tiny details in each of the crevices. So we need 3 brooms. So we're just using that orange that we made with a little bit of black. And we are bringing that color right on down the panels of our fence. So start in that black and take your brush straight down. And this one on the far right-hand side is pretty long. So you can drop that vertical line almost to the bottom of your canvas. And we're going to do one more right beside it where the white panel is, except this is the short one. So it doesn't have to be super long. We're going to drop a vertical line right here. Down our canvas, a little bit shorter than the first 2. And we have room for her brooms. Now the top of each broom, we want to make sure that we have some bristles. So the top of each one is just going to get a as well. So you can come to the top of each broom and just make a triangle and go ahead and fill that in as well. I'm using that same woodsy color, which was our yellow and red. We add a little bit of black in there and you'll see a really dark brown color. You can come to the top of each one and just make a triangle and fill it all the way in. And that will give you the broom at the top. And you come to that final broom on the far right side, do the exact same thing. And make sure that it has bristles. She's not using it to sweep, but she still needs to fly and keep her balance. So there is our last broom. And now we just gotta put details on this. So details on the dress, details on her hair, details on her hat. And our details, we are gonna use our tiniest brush, our detail brush. We're gonna squish it off really well because we are going to need to use some white to make these highlights. I'm taking my tiniest of tiny brushes. If you need to clean it off, you can use your paper towels if you need to. But we're going to use our white and we're going to come in to where her hat is and make some lines for highlights. Now for highlights, I'm just adding little dashes right along those edges of the lines we've already drawn. So I can trace the inside of her brim with some white. I can add some on either side. It's kind of like just tracing what we've already done to accentuate the shapes of her hat. I'm going to do the exact same thing in her hair. I'm just following the lines we already made and accentuating them with some white. And I can do that on either side as well. And I can come down the middle just to give her some little highlights. Add a little squiggle here and a little squiggle at the bottom, just so her hair stands out and is popping. We're going to do that in her dress as well. Same brush, same color. You can come into where her elbows are. Trace her sleeves. Trace her other sleeve. Just following the lines that we've already drawn. We're going to come down into her dress. We're going to outline just the line of her dress on this left side. It's already there, so we can just follow the lines that we've made to make her dress stand out. And we can do that along the left. Follow those ridges and those ripples so she has fringe that we can see and make it stand out. And do it at the very bottom as well. Now this is kind of cute. If you notice up close, really closely, you will see on her dress, it looks almost like polka dots. But there's some tiny little lines on the right-hand side of her dress. Where we're just gonna sprinkle some color. That's just giving her a little sass. But you can start with white and just make the tiniest of dots with your tiniest of brushes. And we're just adding these little polka dot sprinkles over here on the right side, all random places. We can do that as well with our other colors, such as our teal. And just take that green and just add some dots over here on the side of her dress. All over, just to give her that design. We can take that same green and also add some green highlights in her dress. She's sassy. This is called Witches Be Crazy. So we can add a little bit of green. Also where we made our highlights so that it stands out. Give her a little style. Add some green on those corners. Take that green all the way down to the bottom. We're just coloring in those corners as well. You can take that all the way across. And now that we're down at the bottom of her dress, you'll see she has socks on, but she needs some color to her socks. You can make them white if you're feeling adventurous. You can give her some green socks if you so choose. You can give her white stripes. You can give her whatever color stripes you want. They're just little horizontal lines right there in those legs that we drew. And she's looking cute. We got to add some details as well to these brooms, because if you look closely, I hold up my one from last week. Each broom has some horizontal lines coming down the center of each one, and they're alternating colors. So we've got orange stripes, black stripes, orange and black on each broom. So go ahead and take your tiniest detail brush, and we want to add some highlights to our broom. And we're just going to make some horizontals down each one. So if you use your tiniest of brushes, you barely need a stroke of horizontal black to make those ridges. But you can go ahead and get in there with those stripes. And then start alternating color, because we want black stripes, white stripes, orange stripes, and they're just little horizontal lines right down the sides of our broom handles. She's sassy witch. She wants some decoration on her broom. So take those horizontals right down that broomstick in black and white and orange, so that she's got details that you can see. And don't forget, in the bristles of the broom, which are those triangles, we do the exact same thing. So you want to come into those bristles of the broom and trace just that triangle that we've already made. So you can see the broom, this wispy straw. So I'm just using my tiniest of brushes. I dipped it in the white, and I am tracing the shape of the triangle. It looks like broom bristles. And I'll do it for my final broom over here. Just adding some white, tracing that shape of the triangle, and filling it in till we get some nice straw. Yay! So when you are done coloring in your girl, if you want to finish off with any colors, if you want to add another layer to her dress so she has a nice, solid, bright purple dress, you can always get in there and coat it so that she's really popping in her outfit. So make sure you colored in all your favorite spots and got your outline filled in with little streaks as possible. Get a nice solid color. Get a nice cute dress on. You can add any other colors or details that you want to your dress. So if you want any additional colors in there, if you want to add a logo or some writing or your favorite colors, you can add any others to her outfit that you so choose. This is your painting, and we want it to be customized for you and for your Halloween party. And lastly, look at that bottom edge of her dress as well. Make sure you've gotten into all those crevices, all that fringe, all those ridges that we made. Give her a nice polished finish. You can look back at her hair and think if you want to add any other highlights to her hair. Maybe she's got some yellow highlights. Maybe you want to give her some more gray hair. If you want to give her some black. It's up to you. Make sure her teal hair color is all nice and solid. And that was just our yellow, white, and blue, which gave us this cool green. Now, if you made her hair black, of course, you have that option. I'm just showing you some crazy ways because witches be crazy. Make sure her hair color is filled in. You can add some green or to your teal mixture. You give a nice wavy do by tracing those lines we already drew. And we're just personalizing right now because you've done all the hard work. You have done the outline of all the basic shapes. You have added the highlights and reflections to her hair and to her hat. And just like that, we're ready for Halloween. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. The very, very last step, which we always do when we do a painting, is make sure people know that you did it. So you can take your tiniest brush, pick any color you want. I usually choose the far right-hand corner. I'll show you where I tagged it last week. What was that? 10/20. And I put the date over here in the corner and my initials. You can do that for this as well. Or if you want to write Happy Halloween or any other fun slogans that are spooky or funny to you, you can put them anywhere on your painting to personalize it. I am certainly going to put my initials over here in the corner. You can tag with your name, with the date. What's the date? 23rd. And sign it. And when you're all done, you are ready to decorate your house like mine. Now we have multiple witches. Give one to a friend, use it as a gift, share, tag, like us. So Happy Trees Entertainment. I'm Paint with Mel 8. I'm Paint with Mel 8 on Instagram. We hope you'll paint with us again. We hope you enjoy your Witches Be Crazy. We hope you have a wonderful, safe, spooky, and blessed weekend. Thanks. Bye.